Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kristen Carosa. Siobhan Connolly has the night off. Topping our news, remembering some of the youngest victims of the Sandy Hook tragedy. A vigil took place in Millbury tonight. Hundreds of residents gathered together to remember the victims. Organizers say it's something the town had to do.
We're all gathered here tonight for...
In the rain, a moment of public reflection remembering the victims that died in Newtown, Connecticut Friday. More than 100 people came out to the Asa Waters Mansion gazebo in Millbury Monday night. Organizer Angela Romano says with two daughters of her own, this hits home.
It's scary. School's supposed to be a safe place, but I think right now I just want to do something for the victims in the town. You know, it's unbelievably sad.
As each victim's name was read, an ornament was hung on a Christmas tree and a balloon with their name was released into the air. Romano says for her, the news of this tragedy is still hard to believe.
I can't wrap my head around it. I have no other words than that.
Residents stood side by side in the rain holding candles, each remembering the victims in their own way. Vigil organizers were overwhelmed by the turnout. Keith Poisson says he's a father of 4. He says he's still processing the tragedy.
When I got home, my wife told me what happened, and it took a while for it to really sink in, and when it did, it hit hard. I have 4 kids of my own, and it could be anybody's kids.
Poisson says the vigil offered neighbors a chance to come together and grieve.
We're a small town like Newtown, so we're just trying to reach out to them to show them that we do care. It's going to be tough, especially for those families, you know. I don't even know what to say about it. It's heartbreaking. It really is.
And in Connecticut today, 2 of the youngest victims of the Sandy Hook tragedy are laid to rest. Families and friends attended the funerals for Jack Pinto and Noah Posner. Both boys were first graders and both were just 6 years old. There's the first of the memorial services for the 20 children and 6 adults killed in last Friday's shootings at Sandy Hook Elementary School. Well, students in Worcester and all across our area returned to class today, the first day of school since the tragedy. One of the biggest challenges for teachers and school administrators is how to talk to children about the shooting. Our Caitlin Tivnan has more on how schools are dealing with the subject.
The flag outside the Charlton Street Elementary School in Southbridge flies at half-staff Monday. Inside, students and faculty work through their emotions on their first day back in school since the Newtown tragedy.
You can tell there's an aura of, people are thinking and hurting.
This is Bryant Montigny's 14th year as the elementary school's principal. He says teachers and staff are taking steps to talk to students about the shootings.
I wanted also to inform them that I would be available, the school nurse, we have a psychologist, an intern.
We want people to understand that we are being proactive, that we don't want that to happen here.
Police were at all the schools in Southbridge today as kids were dropped off and picked up from school. Superintendent Terry Wiggins says information on how to talk to kids about the subject is posted on the district's website. Today, students will also be sent home with letters to their parents.
But quite frankly, there are some physical things that in light of what happened in Newtown that we, and I'm sure schools across the country, are reviewing and going to be making immediate changes. So there's a number of things that we've been trying to do.
Wiggins says safety procedures and security at all the schools are under review. They're also considering putting in new front doors with bulletproof glass at some schools. Meantime, these 5th graders are making scarves to send to Sandy Hook, another way teachers are helping students process the Newtown tragedy.
Our schools still are safe, and we still want them to be the positive growth and learning environment that their children need, deserve, and must have.
Caitlin Tivnan, Worcester News Tonight.
Southbridge is also holding a candlelight vigil for victims of the Newtown shooting on Wednesday night. The vigil takes place at Harry J. McMahon Field and will begin at 7 p.m. Well, to the weather now. It was a messy day on the roads in central Massachusetts with ice and freezing rain creating problems for drivers. Conditions are still hazardous in some spots, but Worcester DPW Commissioner Bob Moylan says crews have been out in full force and will continue to do so throughout the night.
We will have crews on tonight all through the night, standby crews, just in case there is any refreeze anywhere and we have to go back at this again.
A Worcester man is charged with misleading officers who are investigating a shooting from Sunday night. Police say a 20-year-old was shot on Vernon Hill in Worcester when he was walking with a friend on Fox Street. Police say that friend is now under arrest. According to police, neighbors heard shots at around 9 p.m. When police arrived at 48 Fox Street, they found a man lying on the floor with a gunshot wound. The victim's injuries are not life-threatening. Police now say statements made by the witness, 18-year-old Trevor Nolan, proved to be false. Nolan is charged with misleading an officer. Anyone with information is urged to call the detective unit. Well, a Worcester College student appeared in court today. He's facing some troubling charges for allegedly threatening to carry out a violent attack. Mike Cronin has more.
21-year-old Gregory Hamlian appeared in Worcester court on Monday. He's facing multiple charges after the district attorney says he made threats over the internet to shoot people at a Massachusetts movie theater.
Tonight I'm going to my local theater for the midnight premiere of The Hobbit and shooting the out of everyone there.
Prosecutor Mark Dupuy read court documents on Monday which said last Thursday a Hopedale resident reported Hamlian posted the threat on Facebook. State Police Detective Unit working with District Attorney Joe Early's office investigated and found Hamlian's original post on the internet message board 4chan.org. It allegedly says his hero is James Holmes, the man charged with killing 12 at a movie theater in Colorado.
And it goes on to say, Your Honor, that it'll be the biggest shooting in U.S. history, therefore everything will be compared to it. I have few talents. This is my way to be immortalized.
Hamlian was arrested on Friday and posted $10,000 cash bail. He's a junior at the College of the Holy Cross, where he's also a member of the track and field team. A college spokesperson says he's been suspended from the school, going on to say there was never an immediate or perceived threat to the campus or any member of our community. However, the safety and security of our students, faculty, and staff is always our highest priority, and we take threats against the public like this one very seriously. At a pizza shop near Holy Cross campus, Lee Mata is troubled by the news in light of recent tragedies. He says he's worried for his kids.
I have a son who's 2 years old. I have a lot of young loved ones, and I actually have a baby on the way with my wife, and it scares the death out of me to have this stuff going on.
Mike Cronin, Worcester News Tonight.
Hamlian is being held on $100,000 bail. He's due back in court next month. Well, police have added patrols in the Brook Street area after several dumpster fires have been set over the past 2 weeks. The most recent, police and fire responded to a dumpster fire at 235 Brook Street on Friday night. All fires have occurred between the hours of 8 and 11 p.m. Police and fire are investigating. Anyone with information can contact the Worcester Fire or police departments. Well, the 23rd Annual Firefighter Awards will take place tomorrow at Mechanics Hall in Worcester. Firefighters from surrounding communities will be honored for their acts of bravery. A Medal of Honor will also be presented to Worcester firefighter John Davies, who died on the job last year. Also, the Fire Marshal's Award will be given to Worcester Polytechnic Institute for several research projects that have and will lead to increased firefighter safety.